Good evening, I'm Kristen Welker in for Lester. We begin tonight with the new front in the war on COVID-19. That new, more contagious strain of the virus, first identified in Britain, has now been found in 2 U.S. states, Colorado and now California. There are new questions tonight about just how widespread it already is. This as health officials vow to pick up the pace of the vaccine rollout after acknowledging the effort has fallen.
You need to repent, go watch the news. All of the prophecy coming true. He sent his son to die for you. Follow his steps, you make it through. Euphrates rivers drying up. The 12 tribes don't rise up. The devil knows his time up. Messiah coming, I'm fired up. Rumors of war, we at the door. In the tribulation, please endure. In your patience, possess your soul. Earthquakes and pestilence coming more. Come up out of my people. These folk done did so much evil. These places coming, they won't leave you. Famine, nuclear missiles gon' kill that eagle. We got angels, they got demons. For the most I protect you and keep you. The love of many gon' ask call. And the tribulation gon' let you know. Your truth, they truth, my truth. His life, his death, the truth. No vaccine gon' mean some sacrifice. Would you lose it all to leave afterlife? These plagues are coming to the earth. America about to get hurt. Keep having vengeance, I'm alert. Babylon is going down, it's in his word. Come up out of my people. Jeremiah 50, pray I see you. All but sing your angels cause we need you. Having visions, I keep seeing yelling and screaming. A fake Messiah coming, don't let him deceive you. All them signs and lying wonders gon' be evil. Messiah opening them seas. Keep them commandments, y'all, cause this body get real. Lockdowns coming back. Them plagues coming, nobody could send them back. Hold back your wings, seal your elect. Hold back your wings, seal your elect. You need to repent, go watch the news. All of the prophecy coming true. He sent his son to die for you. Follow his steps, you make it through.
Welcome to the Hebrew state of being. I am your humble servant and host for tonight. I am Kyle, and I have my young Hebrew in the building, along with my Esther's in the building. So this is I see you in the building, Kevin. Shotgun. Oh man, happy to you in the building, man. You and the other brothers can help me tonight, man, because we got a very serious subject to deal with, and it deals with our community in all manners. I see you in the building, Nikki West. So how is this a thing that affects all my communities? I mean, I don't care if you a boulier, I don't care if you gangster, I don't care if you Inyan, I don't care if you middle class, I don't care if you poor. There is an attack on something that we all value, and that's our children. I see in the building with Zam. Our children are under a major attack right now. They got us so caught up in this lollipop, they got us so caught up in this world and these passports that we're not seeing that our children are being attacked. We're not having enough time to even take a breath of all the shenanigans and stupidity that's coming at us on a day-to-day basis in this world that we may not have caught, we may not have noticed how they're surrounding our children. I truly mean surrounding our children. They all say that they're doing it out of love and education. They say they're doing it out of love and education. I want you to understand that those two things, love and education, is the things that have taken our community down from the beginning. It is the building block of the heresy. It is the building block of the lie. When they told you to get away with, to do away with all the commandments and just keep love. When the New Testament told you to do away with the Ten Commandments, do away with all commandments, and just know that love is the number one commandment. That was a lie. That was a heresy. And they're using it today to attack our communities. Then education. The building blocks of their entire satanic nation. Education. Education is the key to the satanic nation of this world. See, they get you young. We did an entire show on Canada and what the Catholic Church did to the indigenous people of Canada through their schools and education. They killed over 800 of them and buried them in the back of the school. They indoctrinated the rest so that they made them believe loving them, even though they had killed their children, maimed their husbands, killed their husbands, even though they had put disease in their nation, that they are to love everyone and that everyone should be heard. I'm telling y'all, that's a lie. Everybody shouldn't be loved and everybody shouldn't be heard. That's a lie. That's that softness. That's that weak mamby-pambiness that they are putting in our world. It's called the whataboutism. When you get ready to actually show someone that they're wrong, they come up with, well, what about this? This person like that. Why can't I like it? This is something that is this. Whataboutism. Everything but dealing with the fact that this is an abomination, this is a heresy, this is against what the Most High wants. That's everything else. What about ism? Every other lie, every other fleshly thing, every other indoctrinated thing that's in your mind that somebody else told you to like, that somebody else told you you should care about. That's what they call education. When they tell you that you should do something and you follow it, they've educated you. Doesn't matter if you like it or not. Slavery, we didn't like slavery, but we were educated on the process of slavery. We knew slavery extremely well. You could tell by the whelps on our back. You could tell by our children being split, our families being split. You could tell by the fact that we still love pork because that's what given to us as slaves, the raw gut of the scraps of the oppressor. That we turn into hog maws and bacon and all these different things. That was the carcass, that was the parts of the carcass that they threw on the side for you and made as a delicacy. And right now, that same delicacy is what gives you high blood pressure. It's what gives you diabetes. It's the salt, the sodium content in those things because it shouldn't be eaten. So when we understand that love and education is the forked tongue of the devil, love and education is the forked tongue words of the devil, of Hashatan, of the adversary, of the government. Did I mix my words? Do y'all not know exactly who I'm talking about? Because I don't know when you're going to get this viewing. You may come across this from a year from now. You may come across this 2 years from now. The world can be absolutely upside down and torn in pieces. And then when you hear this, I want you to be clear that some of us knew. Some of us knew this is where we were going. Some of us stood and blew the trumpet that no, not my child. Some of us saw it and knew it and said, no, not my child on my watch. My father didn't allow me to succumb to the streets. So how shall I let my child succumb to homosexuality? How shall I let my child succumb to science and a shot that's going to change their DNA? How am I going to let my child be consumed by this world that tells him that he is nothing but a slave and that he's a second class citizen, 2/3 that has to be voted on every so many years? Am I going to let my child succumb to that? Am I going to let him believe that is the totality of his existence? That means that's all that they are? That's all that he is? That's all that she is? No, I refuse to. And whenever somebody that sees this particular video, Shane, my brother, I'm so glad you're in tonight, man. I need to talk to you, man. I called the number, but I guess it's not your number anymore. If you could DM me, I really need your help on something. I appreciate it if you give me a shout. So right now we are fighting this homosexuality. We are fighting these lollipops. We are fighting the world from taking our children, from taking our next generation, from taking our future. Did we not all hear the song that the children are the future? Do we not know by the satanic kingdoms and the universities and the child care and the pre-K and the kindergarten that they want to start with the children so that they can have their future? You don't understand that it's not that they care about your child. It's the future that they want to bring forth. I see my man Yah Faithful in the building. All praises. See, you is personal for you because it's your child. But for them, this is business as usual. They are bringing forth their future. They could care less about your child if it makes it or not, if your child converts or not, if your child understands this new world order or not, long as it gets down before it has to get laid down. I'm going to try and keep my composure tonight. But I want y'all to know that every anger that you see is really tears in my eyes. I want to cry to y'all right now. I mean, I really want to just burst out in tears and cry for the Most High to come and bring his fire like Elijah and bring and destroy all of this iniquity around our children. This is different than I'm talking about fighting for my homies, fighting for my ops, fighting for my community. It's different. When you say community, you think of the adults. And our scripture mostly speaks about adults. I look really hard, man. I studied. I'm like, I need to find scripture about children. I need to understand how the Most High wants us to deal with the children. I say, I got to find scriptures where the prophets were talking about what to do with our children. But you know what? There ain't that many. You know why? Because the Most High sees all his children. Everything that's written for us is written for them. We are the Most High's children. We ain't nothing. We ain't no adults. We ain't no big bad. We are fighting the same fight that our children are fighting, but they are not equipped. They are not equipped. We're fighting for our souls, but they are not equipped. They don't know what we know. They don't know the pain that we've been through. They don't know the triumphs that we've had in the Most High's name. They are seeing teachers, people that they trust as information providers to them, telling them that this is okay, that this is natural, that this is a part of, and get this, being themselves. You're going to hear me touch upon that much tonight because that's what they're telling your child. Be yourself. Let me ask you, adults, are you what you thought you were at 8, at 7, at 10, at 11? Did you become that? If you are part of the 1% that said that you were going to be a doctor at 11, or you're the Obama that said, I'm going to be president at 13, and you actually became that. So you can't tell me a child under 10, under 15, you can't tell me a child under 15 knows what it wants to be right now when it's 40, when it's 50, when it's 60, hell, when it's 30. You cannot convince me of that in any form or fashion. Welcome, my brother Yawan. Get the swords out tonight. I need all my ox to bring up all scripture you got about fighting this principality of homosexuality, this principality of these demonic kingdoms and how they infiltrate. Whatever you got tonight, my ox. I need all the men. Need all the men to stand. Our women are expect. This is our job, my G. This is our job. The boys, that's our job, homie. You ain't got no you ain't got no choice. This is not an option. You a man that's walking through our neighborhood, you talk to the young men in your neighborhood. You walking in another state and you see a young man, you talk to that young man. You find yourself in another continent, you see that young man, you figure out a way to make the language barrier fall, and you talk to him and you show him what a man is. And guess what? It's so funny. You don't have to speak the language because a child leads by example. Be a man. Show him what one look like. You ain't got to scream at him. You ain't got to bitch at him. Show him. Show him you a man, and he'll know what a man is. To not be able to put my hands on a person that's attacking my family, it's hard for me to deal with. It's beyond understanding. But I got the Most High though. See, I got a bully. I got a bully. And everyone that speaks to my child, that tells my child that it's okay to be an abomination, I pray that the Most High touch them in their lives and break them to their knees. He ain't got to be quick about it. He could take his sweet time. It could be 5, it could be 10, it could be 20 years. But I want them to see my son's face when they're getting broke down. So they know who prayed for them. They know whose father. They know what family stood strong. Yeah. To see, that's that's where I'm at with it. See, all these beefs over sections and history and knowledge and doctrine. I don't care what you are. If you telling my child that it's okay for him to be a woman or for her to be a man, I want you dead. I want you dead. I want you nowhere around here. I want you dead. I don't care what you believe in. Go to your God. I want you to go to your God. Your God is a faggot, go to him. If your God is a dyke, go to him. If your God is a Baphomet, half man, half woman, go to him. If that's where your God is, go. Because I want to send you to that mother. I want my words to be clear, because if it's heard in 10 years, 20 years from now, if it's used in a court of law against me, I want you to be clear. When we in that courtroom and it's being played, these words, I'm giving all praises to the Most High that he spoke through me so I could give clarity into your abomination, into your lollipop, your science. You want to change the DNA of my child? You want to say it's okay to put a lollipop in a pregnant woman before that child even gets to this earth? You understand evil? Do you people understand evil? They want to change the Most High's creation before it has breath of life. Before it has breath of life. And you stand there and you think it's a debate. You think that it is something to be discussed in the halls of law. You want to alter the child's DNA. Play this in the court. Play this in my peers. Play this in the assembly and the congregation. Play it. You want to alter the life that is coming to this earth by the gift of the Most High, as it says in his scriptures, and we will show it tonight. We will show it tonight, script by script. But for you that can't get the understanding, because when scripture is read, the devil in you won't allow you to be calm to hear it. The devil, the spirit in you, the iniquity in you won't allow you to hear it. You want to be sarcastic. So for those that cannot wait and cannot sit through the scripture, I'm giving you my sermon. I'm giving you my fire. And you understand that because you're full of iniquity and emotion. So here's emotion for you. Here is what you call the face of death. Because you don't want to hear the calm of the Father. You don't seem to understand the peace that he provides through his words. You understand your father, the viper, the Satan, the Hashatan. That's what you understand. By no means will you stop until you get what you want. Regardless, it is called do as thy wilt. It is the satanic motto. So you dress it up in love. You dress it up in education. It is the forked tongue of the devil, of Hashatan, of iniquity, of Babylon. Let's get to
Children do best, playing together happily. But outside the comfort of their own home, these protests have punctuated their playtime.
I felt like it wasn't a normal day. Like I felt like something was wrong. I felt like something, like the school has changed because of the protest.
Rohan and Isa's family have 2 generations of students who went to Anderton Park, the school at the centre of a row over LGBTQ education. Amjad remembers a time when the sound of anger wasn't constantly heard at the school gates.
I mean, I was a student there maybe about 42, 43 years ago. Fantastic.
But this opinion has changed in the recent months because he believes the school's equality lessons have missed the mark.
Prior to what's happened in the school, not one case, I'm sure, has anybody ever questioned if there's 2 dads or 2 moms. I don't think everybody's gone with the flow. It's fine.
But what's wrong with learning about 2 dads and 2 moms?
Because if you're 4 years old and you're coming home, you got a dad and a mom. 4-year-old comes in and says, well, I've just been told there's 2 moms. Where's my second mommy? How do you explain that one?
Caught in the crossfire, Rohan.
When I was told about it, it was my teacher, and then they were saying that these people were saying bad stuff, and you should have just ignored them. And then when I looked there, I seen that they were wearing scarves and things, and I thought, I think they're Muslims. And then I asked my dad about it, and I got a letter, and he said, and it was talking about LGBT, and I said, I learned about that, that's bad. Then I told my dad.
Rohan's parents say they've always enjoyed a close relationship with the school and its teachers, but that's until LGBTQ was addressed inside the classroom. And now, although there's little love lost between both camps, Amjad and Nahida say the rift has left them feeling disappointed.
Years, I've lost that connection with the school,
Yeah,
with the teachers. That's what I really feel. You know, I used to love going to school to pick my kids up.
If you look at what's been used in the schools, it's stories that show that some families have two mummies and some families have two daddies. What's so wrong with that?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. He's going to learn that in primary school, I mean, in secondary school anyway. But I'm with the parents because the kids are younger there, like from the age of 4, teaching them. They're still they're children.
Well, let
they're
kids
still
be kids. The whole chant. Let kids be kids.
If someone came and sat in front of you and told you that learning about Islam at the age of 4 was too much and not age appropriate, how would that make?
I want you to understand how these journalists work. This woman just did what journalists would call a transition. It is a technique that's used to compare what the story is to something that is a what about ism, something that fits a moral code that seems to stop a person from standing on morals. So she asked him, what if your child was being taught about the Most High at 4? She said Islam, but as we all know, Islam's first books is the Torah. That's part of their doctrine until they have a New Testament like Muhammad in theirs, just like the Christians have. So basically, she's saying, well, if they're learning about the Most High, then why can't they learn about other sexualities, other lifestyles? Well, first and foremost, that's trickery, that's evil, that two things that don't mix. And the gentleman here says as much. He says, I don't see those two things as being the same, and it clipped to something else. But she got that in. You understand? She got that mind thing in there, that drop, that manipulative piece to say, to put LGBT thoughts and desires on the same level as religion. Now, y'all know we don't rock with religion here, nor do we rock with LGBT. But the fact of the matter that because religion is so heavy in this world, she wants to put them to like they are equal to each other. That is the trickery. She wants you to think, regardless of how you feel about it, but she wants you to know that these two things are of equal importance. That's the thing that they put in the back of your mind. So now LGBTQ conversations is now inside of religion conversations. And if religion is going to be spoken of, then LGBT got to be spoken of. Well, you know who used that argument first? The Satanists. Yeah. The Satanists said, if you're going to talk about God, then you got to have a place for our Baphomet statue. You got to be able to talk about satanic. It was first a fight that was done in religion, and then they won out in religion, so they got to put Satan in a Baphomet and all that. Got their little statues in the places that they people fought for them. And in other places, they got it to where you don't hear anything about the Most High, so that you don't hear anything about Satanism. Because if you get to speak about the Most High, you got to speak about Lucifer. That's how they put it. And now you got this woman on this particular thing putting LGBTQ now in this conversation of religion like it's equal to it, like it's okay. Like religion has some issues, but it's all trying to believe in a creator that's bigger than them. How is who you want to have sex with compared to that? How can you compare your sexual lifestyle to the supernatural thing that created you? How can you put your desires for sex on the same level as your creator? That's why it's so easy for them to put it into your children. That's why it's so easy for them to say they need a curriculum. All right. I hope I didn't get rid of this video. I hope I still got it. Let me see if I go back one. What did that mean? Yes, here it is. All good. Most sides with. So check out how they're gonna teach
Today marks the
LGBTQ.
50th anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising. Police raided the LGBTQ hotspot in Manhattan back in 1969. They assaulted customers and arrested 13 people. But unlike past raids where bar patrons scattered,
So get this. Obviously, homosexuality didn't start in New York, but they are saying that the place that the organization came together, where they came together like Voltron or whatever, like they came together with all these, all of these X-Men came together in the city of abomination of New York. That symbol is the biting of the apple. You know what that is? That's the Eve biting into the apple of iniquity. It's the big apple. It's the land of iniquity. I guess y'all don't believe in symbolism. I guess I'm being a conspiracy theorist now, right? Keep on believing the lies they tell you is conspiracy when it's the truth in your face. So here it tells you that this place, what they got attacked because they got to use it as a defense thing. See, this here is going to tell you how they did it in the curriculum and why they're doing it. And this upset me. I'm not going to lie. When I read this, or rather when I watched this, it was a bit off-putting because love and education, again, is what they're going to be putting forth here. And I explained to you this love and education that is the forked tongue of the devil. Come on.
they stayed and fought back. It's widely known as the moment that sparked the modern LGBTQ rights movement.
For that reason, the month of June has unofficially been deemed Pride Month in the U.S.
However, this piece of history often isn't taught in schools like many other issues and events that are important to the LGBTQ community. Today, we explore the topic of LGBTQ curriculums in schools. In 2017, GLSEN, or the Gay, Lesbian, and Straight Education Network, found almost 20% of LGBT students were taught positive representations about people like them in school. A little more than 18% were taught negative content regarding those issues. And about half of the students with internet access at school said they were able to access LGBTQ-related information online. It found in many states whether these curriculums do or don't exist is all intentional.
Let's stop right here. So you want to know where your child is getting homosexuality from? You want to know how your child is being exposed to it? This chart, many of you may not have caught this. It says 49.2% were able to access LGBTQ community information from the school. Yes. So your school is the safe zone for your child to become homosexual. The statistics are right here. It's telling you that half of the children in the world are, this is mean that they've done it. This is not like saying that they're access, there's 49% of computers across the United States that allow access to LGBTQ community. No, these were able to. That meant that these people accessed it. So 49% of your school system, of your children, are going online to homosexuality. So while you at your house breaking your neck, trying to make sure your child ain't watching nothing, that your child is not being caught up in this world, he's going to school the next day and getting all the information he needs or she needs. The counselors in your school systems are allowing your children, or actually they are telling your children it is okay to be yourself. As I brought up earlier, who knows who they are at 8 years old? No. Who knows themselves at 10 years old? Tell me what 10-year-old knows about marketing. Tell me what 10-year-old knows about internal surgery on the heart to know if that's what he's going to be. Tell me how many children know about astrophysics at 10 years old that they are gonna be this when they get older. But there's a lot of astrophysicists. There's a lot of surgeons that deal with the interns of the body, right? That was not what they were gonna be. They may have wanted to be a doctor, but they didn't know that they were gonna be a lung doctor. They didn't know they were gonna do lung transplants. They didn't know they were gonna do. They didn't know if they were gonna wind up being a ear, nose, and eye doctor and not be a surgeon. So my point about this is that 10, you got no clue the hell you are. So how in the hell are you supposed to figure out your sexuality? You ain't had no sexual experiences. You ain't had no girlfriends, like talking about you ain't had no boyfriends. You ain't had no real relationship. You got capable of having a real relationship because you ain't got your own. What is the deciding factor of being able to be married in the scripture? You have to be, as a man, go to that woman and pay a dowry to her parents. That means you gotta have a job. That means you gotta have something. You gotta have a house to bring this woman to. A 10-year-old doesn't understand that, and a 12-year-old doesn't know that that's what is the prerequisite for a relationship. They don't know that. Do you think LGBTQ is saying, you know what, before you decide that you want to be with a guy, understand that when you come to a guy, you're going to have to bring him a car. You know, he's a guy, so he's into those type things. You got to be, you got to be subservient to him because he's used to a female. So, if you're going to be with a man, then you have to choose if you're going to be the head or you're going to be the tail. Is that what they're telling them? Or they just tell them you can be what you want? That you can just like it? Well, because them kids ain't going to know, right? Them kids 10 years old. Kids 12 years old. If they got parents that's watching them, how they going to have an experience to know this? Yes, Monica, thank you. So my ox ain't giving me too much scripture, but Ephesians 6:12. Yes, Monica. It says, for we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against the spiritual wickedness. Yes, Monica and my rib gave me the one with Deuteronomy. Was that vengeance? Deuteronomy 32 to 35. Vengeance is his. Where my ox at? I'm calling y'all out tonight, man. You need to have your book open right now because you need help. You may not even know you're in a fight right now, but you are. My brother and I know he in a fight, and you better grab your book because we in a fight, homies. It's telling you that 49%, half of our children are going to school, and no, they're not worrying about selling crack cocaine no more. No, they ain't worrying about selling heroin no more. That ain't the new trap to fall into. The new trap to fall into is the gay trap. It's the cliques of the boys that's doing things to boys. It's the clique of girls that always been together, but now they're doing things with each other. Now we got more girls that's trying to figure out how to be a man, how to put a bulge in their pants, how to walk like a man, how to stare another man down to get your respect. Oh, y'all women didn't know that men can look at each other just by their eye contact, and I can tell if a nigga about it or not. Did y'all women know that? You dykes, I'm talking to you. I'm specifically talking to you dykes. I'm talking to you dykes, all right? Did you know that a man can look at another man's eye? And I can know if I can snatch that nigga's soul. Did you know that? I don't know if you knew that. Because see, when men look at you dykes, we already know I can snatch your soul, punk. You ain't nothing to me. Nothing. If I want what you got, I'm going to walk over there and take it. Got the shotgun. Am I lying? Look here. I'm going to walk over there to your girl. I'm going to smack you real smooth like, and I'm going to snatch your broad. That's if I want, because I done did it to a man. So you know I can do it to you. Boy, don't have me bring out the old me, boy. Look. Let me tell you. Dyke, you can never be a man. Say, Dyke, you can never be a man. You ain't got what it takes. And say, dude, you can never be a broad. You ain't got what it takes. You ain't got the soft conversation of a woman. You ain't got the soft hands of a woman. You ain't got the skin that a man want to fall into. No. You ain't got nothing. I don't care how much women products you got. You could never dance like a woman. You could never swing your hips. You could never, ever amount to a woman. You don't understand what nurturing is. You don't understand how to breastfeed a child. You can never be a woman, punk. You can switch your hips all you want. You can call up fish. You can do whatever you want, but you can never bring life to this earth. Ever bring life to this earth. Most High didn't trust you with that because you're a man and you're sick in the head. That's why he didn't trust you with bringing life to this earth. You ain't got what it takes to click when you are impregnated, to click to knowing the difference between humans and what you are giving birth to. My river tell you right now, she loved me all day, but what she gave birth to. And if you're a man, you ain't even trying to step in between that. You want that. Yes, my brother, and that Genesis that we're gonna bring out is actually Genesis 1, verse 28 that my brother Yawan is speaking about. Let me give y'all a little bit more of this. Because a man could never be a woman. You can never do it. You're in a battle that you just can't win. You don't have the physical tools. You ain't got no ovaries. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? You ain't got that. So all you're doing, you can't replace a woman. So if you can't replace a woman, then all you're doing is living out your fantasies. All you're doing is living out your flesh. Your flesh can never be compared to the Most High. Your flesh needs the sun. Your flesh needs water. The Most High started in darkness. He don't need no sun. The Most High created the waters. He don't need no water.
Depending on where you look.
I want to share with you all today the fact that I am a transgender man.
This day in 2015 was a long time coming. Sam Long, a second-year teacher in Denver, Colorado, had to go on both a personal and professional journey before he could tell his story to 500 students.
It's all right if you don't really know how to feel about this, to react to this right now. It's all right to feel shocked or confused. This is something that you all need to learn about.
He says he was doing it not only to be honest about who he was, but to educate his students about something he felt many of them had never been able to discuss with an adult.
Students would react in different ways, and they shouldn't be all expected to react positively, but they should all be expected to respond with courage in learning about a new thing and with respect.
Long now comes out to his classes every year. He wrote in Education Weekly that he's come out to roughly...
your children to respect their lifestyle. That's what it comes to. This dude sitting here telling 500, every kid he can tell, he's telling them that he's a transgender. He used to be a woman. Now he's a man. He's coming off as a man, so he used to be a woman. There ain't nothing that he has that I can't take from him. Or her, whatever that is. See, that's what it comes down to, man. Y'all play these games if you want to. That's what it comes down to. You got a nation full of confused people being different roles. You don't have an army. You got your women going to fight, and they got steroids in them. They got extra muscle. They done had surgeries. They're not really a human being. They're transhumanists. They're not even a human being. Do you understand the slope that we're in? See, they tell you that there are LGBTQ, that is, they say that there are 100, close to 100 or more different definitions to define a human body. That man and woman is outdated. Let me ask you a question. when a woman is trying to act like a masculine entity because she's feminine, she's trying to act like a man. So a woman that likes a woman that acts like a man is still trying to have a man. So you can't redefine a man. You get what I'm saying? You can redefine the person that's not a man, that's trying to be a man. You can give them all kind of definitions and some kind of characteristics. For a woman that, from a man that wants to be a woman, you can give him all kind of different characteristics of wanting to be a woman. But the fact is, he's trying to be a woman. That's a definite thing. That's an entity you can't run around. It's woman and it's man. But you want me to be stupid. You want me to be a dummy. You want me to go down to your level of stupidity and believe that you created some new identities for human beings that are confused. So you are trying to bring clarity to confused human beings that now you want to bring to my children and confuse my child and have them respect your confusion. The Father says in the scripture that confusion is of the devil. That is confusion exemplified. You want my child to respect confusion. You want me to respect confusion. I don't. I respect the human being for their choice. If you choose to believe in Satan, you choose to believe in Allah, you choose to believe in the big titty girl next door, whatever you believe in. I really want you to be, whatever you believe in ain't my concern. I respect you for who you are. It's when you tell me I got to worship her. It's when you tell me I got to respect them. I don't. And you can't make me respect something. I can respect you for doing what you want to do. I give you that. I give you that. But don't make me respect your God, your life, your confusion. No. But that's not even a problem. That's not what we're dealing with tonight. Their confusion. We're dealing with the attack that they're putting on our children. That science wants to put shots in pregnant women to alter their DNA before a child's natural immune system can kick in with the breath of life. They already offer you designer babies where you can make your baby green eyes, or you can have blonde hair, or you can have him 6'1". They are doing that right now. It's called CRISPR. So you think that this lollipop they want to give you to a pregnant woman to alter it ain't gonna change the DNA of their child? I'm supposed to be stupid with you. No, you're stupid. No. No, you're not stupid. I apologize. You're evil. Simply put, you're evil.
Thousand students so far.
If they're not exposed to it in school, they might kind of go off on this journey in life, and there is nothing that will expose them to the fact that, well, these are all these ways to be human.
Oh, so he says it. If they don't teach them in the school, those kids might go on life and never ever have a concept of this dumb. And when they come across somebody that has decided to make themselves whatever, that person can tell them and then explain to them, oh, I'd rather call myself such and such. Once that person has grown up, that person has got an opportunity to see life, he can come across one of you anomalies, one of you abominations. And then you can explain to that human. But for you to say, I got to respect you, and that you know that my child would not come across this, would not have to deal with this if it wasn't for you putting it in the school system.
And he isn't the only one who believes LGBTQ topics should be more prevalent in schools. In fact, a handful of states have legislated the issue. California and New Jersey have passed bills mandating public schools include LGBTQ topics in their curriculums.
Oh, yeah.
New York, Illinois, and Colorado lawmakers have passed similar bills but are waiting on governors' signatures.
I'm going to have a second grader next year, and if these topics were to come up and a second grader raises their hand, that conversation is going to be had that I would like to have at home.
Years after its legislation passed, California school districts are starting to incorporate the changes. But about 700 parents in Rockland, California, pulled their kids out of school in protest. They told the Rockland School District Board younger children aren't ready for discussions that may confuse them.
We as parents do indeed have parental rights when it comes to our children's education. We were told at the board meeting on Wednesday that we do not.
But age isn't the only argument used to refute these curriculums. In fact, some states find them inappropriate altogether and created no pro-homo laws, which keep schools from supporting or educating students about LGBTQ people or issues. Students across 6 states learn from lessons informed by these no pro-homo laws. They exist in Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, Oklahoma, South Carolina, and Texas. In Alabama,
they say Louisiana, it's not happening anymore. I can tell you as a witness, they are now pro-homo in Louisiana. Facts.
For example, teachers must factually state from a public health perspective that homosexuality is not a lifestyle acceptable to the general public. Arizona and Utah recently repealed no pro-homo laws.
What do you say to people who think that this does not belong in schools, that it should be a parent's choice, or that it's pushing some sort of agenda to teach this in a school setting?
The same people generations ago were saying things about teaching Black history in schools. And
there go the insult, baby. That's what I want to get. Our ancestors that were hung from trees so that our children would get a European education. Our people were hung on trees so that they could go into restaurants and not be called a nigger, be spit upon, or told that they could not receive service. Our people were hung on trees fighting for funding from the states of the taxes that they were paying, so that they would have those funding come to their neighborhoods. Now, because a person has a particular sexual preference, they want to put themselves equal. They did it with religion first. Now they want to put it equal with the civil rights movement. They want to use our people's blood, sweat, and tears as an example of what they're going through. Really? I rebuke you. I call you a liar. I call you a sinner. Any LGBTQ person that wants to equate what the Black community has gone through in America with their feeling abandoned, feeling ostracized, feeling attacked. I don't care if you got your ass kicked every day in school. It does not equate to what Black people went to in this country in order to have rights, to be considered one whole human. You have not earned it. Am I clear? I want to make sure that y'all don't mix my words. You do not equate your sexual desires, do not equate you being beaten, you being teased, you being ostracized, does not equate to a slave master raping a man's wife. And then when the man brings it up to the slave master the next day, he kills him in front of his children and his wife. You do not equate, you punk. Do you need another example? Whips, punks, confused? Do you need another example to clarity? Do you need more clarity? Your sexual preference does not have a damn thing to do with my children and my community. Not a damn thing. I'm 48 years old. I've lived in this city of New Orleans my entire life. This city has been the bowl of iniquity. Has been from the beginning of its inception, in 1718. This city is a cesspool. But at one time, that cesspool was relegated to one place, the French Quarters. And then it wasn't even the entire French Quarters. It was at the end of the French Quarters going towards Esplanade at the end. In between that, you had number prostitution, you had all types of iniquity all over, don't get me wrong. But there were only 2 bars 20 years ago. There was only 2 bars that was dedicated to them. 15 years ago, there was 3. Now, it's the entire city. It's the entire city. You go out at night, the lower Ninth Ward, Bywater, totally changed. Uptown, Ferret Street, where they used to have dumb bars and the real riders used to be, it's Gay Street. I do Uber Eats at night. Yep, they did that. What was it called, babe? Red dress something. They've been doing that craziness with the red dress thing. The red dress run is what they call it. I was doing Uber Eats and there's a place called Deut. I want everybody to know exactly where I'm talking about. A place called Deut. Right across from it is a Blaze Pizza. The next block over, going towards Napoleon, used to be Dunbar's Fried Chicken. It was the black epicenter, Ferret Street. My great-grandmother lived off of Balance and Ferret. 4 blocks from there. Balance and Ferret was where the Hot Boys came from. You know, you saw the video when Lil Wayne and all them, the block is hot. They shot that right there. I'm 48 years old. I can give you the history. All right? They shot at Balance. They shot at Stan's barbershop. Shout out to my brother Stan. I go to DP Doe. And across from DP Doe, there's a little bar. And it was trans night, I guess. Every night is trans over there. I got mean mugged like I was back in the 90s trying to set up shop on their block. Like they were cocaine dealers and was looking at me like, what you doing around here? This is our spot. You ready to die? I'm telling y'all the truth. This is 12:30 at night, 1 o'clock at night. I'm sitting on the car waiting for the order, and they is mean mugging me. And I'm sitting there like, man, I will snatch y'all lives. Like part of me was like, please come over and ask me. Please come over and ask me what I'm doing. I just wanna spaz on one of y'all. I'm sitting there, and it affected me so much that I started saying, this my block don't look like this. Is what happened to my block. It's happening in the city. It's happening in the schools. It's happening on TV. It's happening in the government. And all of you are turning a blind eye to it. Everybody just say this is society. That's the way the world is right now. I was driving down Canal Street and they had a bum in a wheelchair. And they had a trans that was passing. And he started hollering. I said, girl, say girl. I'm sitting there like I'm hoping this dude will see that this ain't a woman. And the dude walks across, and I holler at the bum in the wheelchair. I said, you know that ain't no girl, right? I said, you know that's a dude. I said, he, she, right? He said, eh? I'm like, what the? Where am I at? What the? I'm gonna give y'all a real testimony tonight because see, I ain't even got to the scripts yet, man. But y'all gonna follow me tonight, man. I'm gonna give y'all how this thing has progressed. I'm talking about a bum on the street. is whistling at the he, she. And when I tell him that's a he, she, he look at me like mind my business. Now, y'all know me. I couldn't let it go at that. I'm like, you like that, G? I'm like, that's the thing that you into? That's what you into? He was like, man, I knew that's what that was. Nah, I ain't into that. I'm like, come on now. He's like, why was you trying to get something from him? Testimony. I've been, before I was Kyle, before I was Hebrew State of Being, I always been rolling. I was in the streets. I was doing my thing. So I had this event that I did, right? And I'm doing an interview with Rough Riders, right? Put it out here, the owner of Rough Rider. I'm not gonna tell you which one. They got 2 men and a female that's over Rough Rider, right? So I'm telling y'all. So I get to the hotel room. I'm meeting up with him, right? So me and the dude that's over Rough Rider, we chopping it up, and these 2 chicks come. One's a female, one's dressed like a female. All right. So I'm sitting there, right? And at first it's all just blase, blase. Everybody's talking. We doing. They got another crew that's doing the interviews. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the only one doing the interview, but we all kicking it, my man. Well, well, y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all don't know nothing I just said. Anyway, look here. So me and the person, right, was chopping it up like some G's, you know what I'm saying? Then all of a sudden, he started flirting with the women that was in the room. Everybody sipping, everybody smoking, everybody doing. What? Damn, I said, why this dude decided to flirt with the one that was not a male? And this dude, right, that was dressed as a woman was well known in the city. Yeah. He worked at Peaches. I'm spilling all the beans. Worked at Peaches, right? It was behind the counter. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Love Prince. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Because I want y'all to know this is a real story. All right? Testimony. So, we in the hotel room, whoopty whoop, flirting going on. Next thing I know, I look around. The dude is sitting on my man's lap. And I'm sitting there. And y'all be wondering, why am I telling y'all this story? I just said to y'all a minute ago, you got to talk to the kids when you walk through the community. I just said that you got to speak this thing out. You can't be quiet. You got to be a man and stand wherever you at. So I'm in a place that's got a lot going on, but it's a place of prosperity. I want y'all to understand that this is the ballers was all around. This is all ballers, right? I'm in that rare air type situation, right? And you know where everybody want to be around the stars, the X's, the J's, right? I'm in that. I'm in that world. I'm at that party. The dude sits on my man's lap. I'm sitting there like, what do I do? I'm like, if I say something like, maybe he like that, right? Maybe I just don't know. You know what I'm saying? Then I say, well, but bruh, what happened if he find out and the next day he asks you, this ain't his city, right? See, I've always been a dude to rep my city. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm NOLA down. No matter where you ever see me, I'm NOLA down, you heard? So I'm like, I can't let this dude come to my city and then leave with this type of impression like these homies would let him fall into such a situation. So I roll up over to him and I whisper in his ear, say, my man, ain't no offense, but you know that's a dude, right? My man said, what? Propped him off of him, you know what I'm saying? My man act like a real one, you know what I'm saying? He was like, nah. Now, after all that is said and done, I know everybody in this city. Real talk. You won't believe the people I know. The places I go. Now in the city, the story changes. Because see, there's way more dudes that was beaten down. I'm talking about in a sexual manner. The one that was sitting on my man's lap. Y'all don't know where I'm coming. Y'all don't understand. Y'all ain't hearing me, man. So when the word get out, now it's I'm a hater. I'm a hater. I ain't had that to do. That wasn't my lane, they said. That wasn't my place to do. And I'm like, wait. We're not gonna talk about the fact that you lying to this man. We ain't gonna discuss this at all. That you acting like you a woman. We ain't gonna discuss that at all. You gonna say I'm a hater because I exposed it. That was for him and him to figure that out and make a decision on. I always stand, and I'm imploring my brothers that this time y'all gonna have to stand. This thing is bigger than you think. This this attack on our children and our community is bigger than you think. Right now, when you pass the Superdome, you got to face a Caesar on it. You saw that, big? You saw that face of Caesar? Did it make you feel any kind of way when you saw it? The first time you saw it? Like Rome, like Caesar and the gladiators in Rome. So the city has turned homosexual, and Greek and Rome was homosexual. Every one of the Caesars was gay. Had a husband and a wife, all of them. Going back to Greek times. Now, I understand that the city has flipped, so I ain't making no friends right now. I'm Gucci with it. I ain't making no friends. This is not the lovey-dovey speaking, so that everybody can understand. I'm not your pope. See, your pope wants to bring all religions together. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. What's that? What a coincidence. So last year in the third grade, for the first time, but they didn't do it before because the teacher told you last year they ain't never did it before, right? Yes. Mm-hmm. So in the third grade, they teach them about the Aboriginal. They teach about poverty point. But now in the fourth grade, they're now going to teach them about Greece and Rome and the medievals. We had Caesars. Uh-huh. Thor, yeah. So now they're going to introduce our children to fallen angels, right? I was looking for this one book, the Percy Jackson book. Yeah, because Percy Jackson is lost. That's the one with the Frodo and all them the ring. Yeah. See. Man, where's my book? Man, I gotta get more organized with my book. Yeah. Yeah, I got a lot of books, y'all. I gotta hold up. Hold up. I got this book about mysticism and all seeing eye, the sun god, and I thought it was right here. Oh man, come on, man. Where you at? That's okay. Got it. Yeah, I guess I'll get it the next time. You right there. It's got like a little pyramid on it with an eye. Oh well. Oh, because it was standing right in front of me, babe. Look at that. It was right in front of me, babe. This is the book right here. Hold up, y'all. Let me put this up here. Forgive me. So, the secret history of the world, right? This is what they want everything to go back to. This is The Secret History of the World. It's a New York Times bestseller. And this speaks about every secret society that formed the world that we live in. Where the secret societies come from? Greek and Rome, your first secret societies. So I say all that for us to be clear that when you make this stand on righteousness, you're not going to be liked. You're not. What you found out this week, Nicola? So, oh, about Caesars. Yeah, about Caesars. Thank you, Bri. It's where we are right now. We have to wake up in the smell of coffee, man. That new Rome is here. We trying to make it a New Jerusalem, but they are instituting New Rome. And if we don't fight for our children, because our children are the future, so they are attacking that and having our children be what they want the future to be. Let's get to our scripts. I know I spent some time, but I want to make sure that they are clear on where we are with this here. So we're going to start off with Deuteronomy chapter 6. Oh, I'm sorry. We're actually going to start with Isaiah. That was my precept to this Isaiah is Deuteronomy. But we're going to go Isaiah 49 right now. Listen close to these words that we are going to go through tonight. It is 11 o'clock, so I'm going to try and get through this fairly quickly because this is something that I want you guys to go back and check for yourself. It's something that I want you to share with everyone. These scriptures that have been put together tonight for a specific reason, specific understanding, and I pray that you guys understand. Salvation reaches to the end of the earth. It's interesting since we are what they consider the New World, meaning that this was the only part of the world that they had not discovered, the Indies, the islands. So our scripture starts off and says, listen, O islands, unto me, and hearken, you people, from far. The Most High hath called me from the womb. From the bowels of my mother hath he made mention of my name. So this is my number one argument for science when they want to give our pregnant women a lollipop that alters the DNA of the seed the Most High has placed. It says here, the Most High called us from the womb. We cannot be playing with the womb. From the bowels of my mother, he knew my name. It didn't say by the bowels of my father, does it, babe? Is that in the bowels of my father? None of that. Say, he hath made my mouth like a sharp sword. In the shadow of his hand had he hid me, and made me a polished shaft. In his quiver had he hid me. So Isaiah is saying that he's a weapon for the Most High. You are a weapon for the Most High. He has made your mouth sharp as a sword, especially our women. We know that our women mouths can cut deep, get a brother mind right, so to speak. Right? So the Most High says, I made that in you. He says, in the shadow of his hand hath he hid us, and made him a polished shaft. In his quiver hath he made me, and said unto me, Thou art my servant, O Yasharallah, in whom I will be glorified. So the Most High can only be glorified if you speak on it. Your children will not know about the glory of the Most High if you don't give it to them, if you don't show it to them, if you don't express the love of the Most High, your child will not get it, and the world will get them. Then I said, I have labored in vain. I have spent my strength for naught and in vain, yet surely my judgment is with the Most High and my work with my Creator. So it says all the things that we do in the world is vain. Every business we get, every dollar we get, everything that we spend is vanity. Vanity, by definition, is the desires of our flesh. Vanity, by definition, is the desires of our flesh. The Father says, don't you not to put anything above him. That's your flesh. That's the vanity of your flesh. Here it says, he's labored in vain, have spent my strength for nothing, and in vain, yet surely my judgment is with the Most High. So everything else that you are trying to do in this world unto his children is in vain. Because not only does his children realize that we do nothing without him and that we answer unto him, surely will the ones that hate him. And it says, and now said the Most High that formed me from the womb to be a servant, to bring Jacob again to him. So what are you, my brothers, supposed to be doing? What are you, my daughters of Zion, supposed to be doing? You are supposed to be a servant, and you are supposed to be bringing his seed back unto him. Through Yasharallah, be not gathered, yet shall I be glorious in the eyes of the Most High, and my Creator shall be my strength. Not a man on this earth should be your strength. You should not be calling no man no prophet. I don't care if he got a militia. I don't care if he got guns. I don't care if he brought a couple of people together to say they want to help black people. Ain't no man, no matter what his color creed is the Most High, or should be reverenced as such. The Most High said, you should not call any man father on this earth, let alone call a man a prophet. But see, the Most High is going to tell you that you were meant to be that. But you can only be that if you're speaking his doctrine. You can't be a prophet if you're speaking Amun Ra. You can't be a prophet if you're speaking about Egypt. You can't be a prophet if you're speaking about the gods that the Most High brought down to their knees. And now said the Most High that formed me from the womb to be his servant, to bring Jacob again to him. So what are our servants? When I say I'm a servant on the beginning of the show, I am clearly understanding my job. And that includes my household with my child, to bring them unto Jacob. Though Yasharallah be not gathered, yet shall I be glorious in the eyes of the Most High, even though we're not a congregation, even though we're not a nation, even though we ain't got some temple to go to. The Most High says, you are still my servant to bring my people unto me. You don't need no church. You are the church. The Most High shall be my strength. And he said, it is a light. Ooh. Most High say, it is a light thing that thou should be my servant to rise up the tribes of Jacob. Whoa. The Most High say, you ain't by yourself. This is a light thing. You may be looking at this world and how succumb your neighbors are to it. You may be looking at this world and looking at how your child is succumbed to it. You may be looking at your friends and seeing how your friends are succumbed to this world. And you will say, well, how, Most High? How can I have the job of bringing your seed back unto you? This is too much for a mere mortal. This is too much for a man or a mere daughter of Zion. The Most High said, man, I'm trying to tell you, this is light work. Your part in this is light work. I start off the show by saying that you ain't got to rile against your child in homosexuality or rile against your child in science. You need to show your child what a man is by being an example of a man. Let them make their choice. They got to see an example of a man. When they walk out of your house, they know what a man is. If they ever so choose to want to make a decision to be a man, they would have had an example. That's your job. That's your job if you didn't have a child, was to be a man of the Most High. So that shouldn't be extra weight. That's the Most High saying. Saying, then when people ask you how you do what you do, that shouldn't be weight. This isn't weight right here. Me doing this Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, it's not grievous. It's not weight. It's a desire. It's a joy. It's a penance. But it's not heavy. I can't tell y'all that this is heavy for me to do. I can't tell y'all this is heavy lifting for me to speak into you about the glory of the Most High. I can't lie to you and tell you that. I can tell you that, in fact, it is so light that I could do this with the scripture. Stop. Psalms 113. I could start the show 5 minutes and read Psalms 113. And because I'm so steeped in him, you would think that I spent hours preparing it. It's a light thing when you're already in it. It's a light thing when that's what you do. I'm gonna have to put my rib on Front Street right quick, and I ask for her forgiveness. But this is the only way I can tell y'all about my testimony. When me and my rib first started combining households, people have no idea how much I study. My rib didn't realize how much I study. It was almost to a point of uncomfortable for her. Like, I don't see you doing nothing but studying. Like, you watching this video, you looking at this book, you talking about this. Like when we gonna have like a regular? Yeah, my baby said now when she look in the room, she get the vision of the cartoon Pinky in the Brain, and she see when she look at me, my head is like this big. Right. But I enjoy studying. I enjoy finding out truth. Not what I don't know, because many things that I don't know that are lies. I like finding out truth. I like knowing that. So my whole life is that. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm Pinky in the Brain. Yeah, I'm the brain. So it is, but we had to get to a comfortable place with that. She literally had to really see something she never saw before. Nobody in her life studied like that. Nobody in her life read this many books. Look at all of these books. Like when we unpacking, I'm bringing all my stuff in the house. I got all these books. She's like, "Do we need all these books?" I'm like, "Yeah." Now it's got to a point where she won't colorize them now. To put them in. So one day y'all may tune in and everything gonna look real aesthetic in the background, right? But what I'm saying is that it's like work when you being his child. When you are seeking his face, it's like work to be his servant. To bring a word here and there. Now, I'm not the type of person that can just, be talking to somebody and I can just rattle off a scripture and say, "Oh yeah, you need to go to Deuteronomy 22:4 and that Deuteronomy 24 say this." Nah, I can't do all that. I don't try. Like, I ain't trying to memorize everything. You know what I'm saying? That the Most High is gonna stick with me what I needs to be stuck with me. You know what I'm saying? And he hasn't failed me yet. Any time I've had to answer a question, he's given me the answer. As he said in the scripture that when you're bringing to the magistrate, don't be concerned about the words that you have to say. Don't be concerned about what you're going to tell the magistrate. The law, I'm going to fill you. So here it says, and he said, "It is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant and rise up the tribes of Jacob, and to restore and preserve Yasharal. I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles." Whoa. So he's telling us that he's given us to be a light unto the Gentiles. But somehow the Gentiles think that they're a light unto us. Isn't that interesting? We just go right past the fact that these laws that the LGBTQ community is getting their rights from are from the chosen people, the servants of the Most High, and that they are the light. You didn't get in the lines and fight with us. And if you did, why you got off? Because there's still things that we need we're not getting. You just saw that the United States just gave all of our rights to you and to India. They didn't give any more rights to us as a people. They didn't do anything. And when the United States Senate is talking about giving funding to poor neighborhoods, you want to connect it to changing our DNA. You want to connect your little small dollars that Mitch McConnell says is too much money for a Negro to have or for a poor person to have. $600 is too much to be giving the American people. That's black, white, all. $1,200 is outrageous. Give $1,400. Our rent is $1,200. That's not including lights, not including food. You telling me that $1,400 is too much money for a family? Because we gonna go buy drugs with it. we gonna go and fund a whole drug empire off of that $1,400. If we ain't do it with the FEMA money, what you gonna make us do it with $1,400? If New Orleans ain't come up off of FEMA, what stimulus gonna do? It says that we should also be a light to the Gentiles, but instead the Gentiles say that they are the light to us. They say that they have our birthright and that we need to go to their church to understand how to get salvation, that we need to believe in their image of a blonde hair, blue eyes. We need to believe in their homosexuality. We need to believe in their two lies of love and education, that thou mayest be. So we are supposed to be the salvation unto the earth. So when they tell you that Jesus is the salvation, the Most High here in Isaiah say you're supposed to be the salvation to the earth. But you calling on some blue-eyed devil to be your salvation when it says right here that you ought to be the salvation unto the ends of the earth. And you following these people bringing this doctrine to our children, wanting to change the DNA of our children through the mother. Thus said the Most High, the Redeemer of Yasharallah and his Holy One, to whom man despiseth. Yes, the man despiseth the Most High. Right, 1,200 don't pay the mortgage, huh? Right? It says the Most High is our Redeemer. He is the Holy One. We are the light. We are the salvation. We are not to be following their iniquity and their lies. They have no idea what they are doing. They have no idea what they are doing. And it's amazing that intellectual people that are watching these people lie, from Fauci to every one of them, every week is something new. CDC is something new. They have no idea what they are doing. And they're creating additional shots, lollipops. They have no idea what they are doing, and you're following them, all because they got the money. Every conversation is going to boil down to they control the economics. They despise it, the Most High. They tell you a lie. They tell you everything to go against the Most High. They first tell you don't believe in him and to pray to his son, which the Yahshua that came to this earth said, do not pray to me, pray to the Father. He said specifically not to do it. Then you had the church, the same church, say, no, you're going to venerate the mother. You're going to venerate Mary. You're going to pray to Mary. You're going to pray to Fatima. You're going to pray to the woman, because the woman, feminine entity, is everything. And not knowing as a good Christian that they took that from Semiramis and from Tammuz, from Nimrod and from Babylon. The whole concept of the virgin, the beautiful mother, the gave birth, immaculate conception, came from Semiramis and Tammuz. All through Egypt, you had the mother and the child, and the mother breastfeeding the child. That is not of our scripture. It is not. These people hate the Most High. They're giving you a Virgin Mary. They're giving you an idol. They're giving you everything but the Most High. And it says, to whom the nation abhorreth, to the servant of rulers, kings shall see and arise. Princes also shall worship, because the Most High that is faithful. And the Holy One of Yasharallah, he shall choose you. Thus said the Most High, in an acceptable time have I heard thee, and in a day of salvation have I helped thee. And I will preserve thee, and give thee for a covenant of the people, to establish the earth, to cause to inherit the desolate heritage. The Most High prophesied and said that so many places will be desolate. And he's saying that once he brings his judgment, we will take over those desolate places, and they will become vast gardens again. That thou mayest say to the prisoners, go forth. To them that are in darkness, show yourselves. They shall feed in the ways, and their pasture shall be in the high places. There shall not hunger nor thirst, neither shall the heat nor sun smite them. For he hath had mercy on them, mercy on them shall lead them. Even by the springs of water shall he guide them. So the Most High is saying, and Isaiah is saying, that when judgment comes across, the Most High is going to show you the way. Even if you have to show you the way through the springs of the water that's untainted, that comes out of the earth, that you got to follow that. See, when you're reading scriptures and you're wondering about what to do in end times, I don't wonder. Because I read these scriptures and I know the Most High says mountains and springs. I look at the world and I see the world is contaminating all the water. So where everybody's going to run to, they're going to run to contamination. We're going to run to where there's water. We're going to run to springs. And trust me, they ain't easy to find. Trust me on that one. We run into mountains because the Most High is dropping, giving you where you're supposed to go and what you're supposed to do. This whole conversation tonight, this passion is about you saving your children so that your children can be with you when you run. Because the Most High is not going to allow them in their iniquity to bring that to his place of salvation. He's not. Remember the story of Phineas. Phineas had to take the spear and ram it through his own brother and the heathen wife to kill the plague. The Most High is not going to allow you to bring your heathen child unto the salvation. If your child goes by the wayside, he is not welcome. She is not welcome. Do you get it? He's going to guide by the springs, by the high places. And I will make all my mountains a way, and my highways shall be exalted. Behold, these shall come from far, and lo, these from the north and from the west, and these from the land of Shunem. The Most High is going to bring an end to all of this. Will you be there? Sing, O heavens, and be joyful, O earth, and break forth into singing, O mountains, for the Most High has comforted his people, and will have mercy upon his afflicted. The promise of Zion. But Zion said, the Most High had forsaken me, and my Lord had forgotten me. Can a woman forget her suckling child? No, she cannot. That she should not have compassion on the son of her womb? Yea, they may forget, yet will I not forget thee. So then the Most High comes back and says, yes, women can do it, but I will not do it. Ooh, how strong, how powerful is that? Behold, I have graven thee upon the palms of my hands. Behold, I have graven thee upon the palms of my hand. Thy walls are continually before me. Most High says that you are engraved in his hand. Ooh. Thy children shall make haste. They're going to run. Your children. Thy destroyers and they that made thee waste shall go forth of thee. This is the line here. Most High is saying that our children are going to run to this. The destroyers and they that made waste shall go forth with thee children. When I'm telling you that we're fighting for our children right now, because either they're going to be running over there and saying that you as the parent is an idiot and don't know, and you're going to be over here. I pray that you're smart enough not to follow your child into the fire. I pray you're smart enough not to follow your child into the fire. I pray that for all of the daughters of Zion. I pray that for all of my ox with sons and daughters. I pray you don't let them take you into the hellfire. And it says, lift up thine eyes round about, and behold, all these gather themselves together and come to thee. As I live, said the Most High, thou shalt surely clothe thee with them all, as with an ointment, and bind them on thee, as a bride doeth. This iniquity is going to go. The Father's going to bring his judgment. The ones that return from their iniquity will be bound unto you like a bride is bound unto her husband. That means your children. That means your seed. But you have to trust in the Most High and not fall to your flesh wanting to love on your children and follow them into the iniquity and tell them that it's okay. Yes, you're being an enabler and you're stopping them from seeing you as the righteous leader that you're supposed to be, that you are. For thy waste and thy desolate places and the land of thy destruction shall even now be too narrow by reason for inhabitants, and they that swallow thee up shall be far away. The children which thou shalt have after thou hast lost the other. Whoa! So the Most High is telling you, you may lose a child. You may lose a child to this world. Come on, I told y'all we're going to talk about how you're going to deal with this as a parent. For generations to see this for 10 years, 20 years from now. Understand this is what is written, has been written. The children which thou shalt have after thou hast lost the other children shall say again in thine ears, the place is too strait for me. Give place to me that I may dwell. Then shalt thou say in thine heart, who hath begotten me these, seeing I have lost my children, and am desolate and captive and removing to and fro. So the Most High is telling you that because we don't have nothing, because of our curses, our children are going to be like, I need more than what you offer me in this house. I see more than what's in this house. As a matter of fact, I see more with the people that you tell me I shouldn't be with. They're not going to tell you that. See, your child ain't going to tell you that. They're not going to tell you that. They see the things that they want in life from the people that are not like you. They're going to see them with toys and gold and silver and money and houses and parties and having fun. And they're going to see you as an old stuck in the mud parent that don't want to go nowhere, that's trying to bring these laws out. So yes, so the Most High said, you may lose a child. Then it comes down and say, the child you get after that, when that child said the same thing that the other child said that you lost, he said, when that child say that, then you're going to feel, it says, because it says, you will feel desolate. It says, I have lost my children and am desolate, a captive, and removing to and fro. And who has brought up these? Behold, I was left alone. These, where had they been? Where have my children been? Thus says the Most High, behold, I will lift up mine hand to the Gentiles and set up my standard to the people, us, and they shall bring thy sons in their arms, and thy daughters shall be carried upon their shoulders. Are y'all listening? Are y'all listening? Most High says, I will lift my hand to the Gentiles. So I'm going to raise some good Gentiles. I am going to raise some worthy Gentiles. So we can't get caught in this world and these lies and this racism. Most High says, I'm going to lift some Gentiles. And I'm going to set up my standard out of Jacob and my people. And it says, and they shall bring thy sons in their arms, and thy daughters shall be carried upon their shoulders. It's us bringing our kids unto the Most High. And kings shall be thy nursing fathers. Ooh. It says, and kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and their queens thy nursing mothers. They shall bow down to thee with their face toward the earth, and lick up the dust of thy feet. And thou shalt know that I am the Most High, if they shall not be ashamed that wait for me. For they shall not be ashamed that wait for me. Most High says that he's going to raise up his standard. He's going to raise up the Gentiles, and that their daughters, and they're going to carry their sons. And the kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and the queens shall be thy nursing mothers. They shall bow down to you. The Most High says, when you used to, we hear all the stories about our black women being bed mothers, babe. What's that terminology when nursing, when a black woman is nursing another child? They call them some a midwife. Yeah, a midwife or milkwife. So they brought the slaves in. Handmaid, yes, hand servant. So they were bringing the slaves because our milk, because of our DNA. This is facts. Because of our DNA of our daughters of Zion, we have more nutrients in the breast milk of the black woman that was a slave from the Gentile woman that was above her. So she would give her child a nursemaid. That's what I want to call it, a nursemaid. And they would give her child to this black woman that they were making their slaves, but were rich enough in their essence of the milk produced from their bodies to feed their children. Most High said, I'm going to turn all that around and say that the kings shall be nursing fathers for us, and the queens shall be giving up breast milk for us. They shall bow down to thee, to us, with their face towards the earth, and lick up the dust of thy feet. And thou shalt know that I am the Most High, for they shall not be ashamed for that wait on me. Woo! Woo! If you need inspiration to be disciplined to your child, if you need inspiration to stand up and tell your child no for this homosexuality, no for living in this world, no for wanting a wider road than the narrow path of the Most High, that's why you do it. You do it because you know the reward that's coming unto you. Shall the prey be taken from the mighty, or the lawful captive delivered? But thus said the Most High, even the captives of the mighty shall be taken away, and the prey of the terrible shall be delivered. For I will contend with him that contend with thee, and I will save thy children. This is about our children and knowing what we are supposed to be doing. The title is, what are we supposed to be doing when our children are under attack? We are supposed to be following the Most High. We're supposed to be an example. We're supposed to be putting a rod to our children and giving discipline to our children and raising them up in the words so that when they go astray, they know where to come back to. What are you supposed to be doing as a parent? Fighting these school systems, fighting the system that's dealing with you and trying to take your child? You pray harder. You take all that emotion, the imagery of somebody snatching your child from your arms, and that's what you pray with. You take that energy, that image of someone ripping your child from your arms, and you pray unto the Most High that He protects you, covers you, and destroy all enemies that would do so. Ask Him to contend with them that want to contend with your child. And I will feed them that oppress thee with their own flesh. You hear that? So that's why you don't go to the fast foods and eat that food, because they got human body parts in that thing. Yeah, I said it. Call me what you want. Prove me wrong. Don't give me a commercial. Prove me wrong that they are not doing it. The proof is on you that they are not putting human feces and meat into the fast foods. Let's go to this. It says, I will feed and oppress their own, and they shall be drunken with their own blood, as with sweet wine. And all flesh shall know that I am the Most High, am the Savior and the Redeemer. Not Jesus, not their idol, that the Most High is the Savior and thy Redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob. Let's go to this food thing. Y'all understand. This is a guy's called a call for uprising. And I wanted to find his video on how LGBTQ and Disney is infiltrating our children with the gay agenda. But they took all of his videos down. I was able to find the gays that did their response video to him, but we're not going to do that. So we're going to play this clip.
Just when you thought that they couldn't or wouldn't go after the children any more than they already do, which is exactly what the school system does. I mean, for starters, it indoctrinates children at such a young age with a world of lies. And like I say so many times, they beat it into your head with repetition. And then you believe that this world is really something that it's not. You believe in a republic. You believe we landed on the moon. All this just stuff, of course, that they call us crazy for believing because they can't wrap their heads around it. The other thing, of course, we know that schools do is they have our moms and dads working, and it's not because they care so much about women's empowerment. It's because they want the children raised by the institution, because what's the one thing missing from the institution? Of course, that is God, and that's why most of these kids don't see what's going on. They don't see the spiritual war. They don't see Lil Nas and all these people who are constantly flashing Satanism on them. They think it's some type of show or art form. And now, what's the latest thing? Well, I guess it shouldn't come as a surprise, but let's just create more soy boys. That's right, more soy boys, because the Impossible Food venture, that's right, Impossible Foods is now certified for school lunches. Meatless tacos and spaghetti are coming to cafeterias nationwide. This isn't some experiment in a small town in Ohio or California. Nationwide, they're going to be putting it there. And what are they going to be doing? They're going to be telling the children how it's a healthier alternative to having meat or any of these things. What are they not going to tell them? Well, they're not going to tell them how much soy is in these products and how soy and all these burgers are made, these Impossible burgers and Impossible meats are made mostly of soy protein. And of course, as most people should know, that soy is not something that men should want to have too much of in their bodies, or if any. Men's bodies do produce estrogen, small levels of it. By enhancing the amount of soy, your body is producing more estrogen, thus making your testosterone levels go down. In lots of cases, people's sex drives go down. It leads to depression. It leads to fatigue. It leads to the low fertility rates that we see nationwide that nobody continues to talk about. And they think it drives me insane. For all these people talk about science and data, you look at the fertility rates and people are just like, well, that's because people are using contraceptives and they don't want to have kids anymore and things like that. And they don't look at the fact that, yes, it has to do with the jabs and these other things, but also this increase in dumping soy into food products. So the USDA, which is about as credible as the FDA for caring about what goes into your body, as much as Roto-Rooter cares about what's coming out. And trust me, you'll be calling Roto-Rooter with the more of this product that you put in your body. So this month, Impossible Foods is embarking on a mission to help young Americans. And listen, because these are the things that are important, the trigger points in here. It's not just about, let them have the choice. They're going to be pushing it. I'm sure it'll be cheaper than the other products in the cafeteria. And of course, they'll have signs. Oh, it's the healthier. Oh, lose weight. Oh, feel great. Meanwhile, everybody wonders why men are acting so feminine in today's world. And they're like, why is that such a bad thing, Call? Why is it so bad? Well, because it's not natural for a man's body not to have larger levels of testosterone in it and have extra large levels of estrogen in it. It ain't natural. And that's a problem. And that's what causes a lot of these issues with people health-wise. So, again, Impossible Foods is embarking on a mission to help young Americans build better dietary habits and tackle the climate crisis by introducing plant-based meat at school cafeterias. The climate crisis, which is as real as Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger coming to your front door tonight. But then again, Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger reside in the White House these days. So to support its goal, Impossible Foods secured a child nutrition, which is called the CN label, from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, which allows its Impossible Burger products, both patties and bulk, to be served for breakfast and lunch in K through 12 schools nationwide. Every year, schools serve approximately 5 billion lunches and 2.4 billion breakfasts to children, many of which include a variety of animal products, right? So this is the thing. I mean, a lot of people come and they don't understand this stuff. Like, I'm not sitting here and supporting eating meat because I love animals just as much as the next person. I'm not supporting going and killing an animal. People who are vegan don't seem to understand this. It's about what the soy does to a man. Why do you think it's so funny too? All of these I don't even know what they call them, Gen X, Gen Y. It's not even millennials anymore. That they're targeting the ones who are like pro-jab. They think that going on these March for Lives rallies, like they're making a difference. They're being told that their voice they're so just dumbed down. It's incredible. But they tell them that the reason for this stuff is climate change, right? And then we get these people pushing climate change on everyone, and we have Bill Gates out there talking about cow farts affecting climate change. I mean, you just want to pull your hair out. You want to do more, literally. I mean, but I can't say what at this point anymore, because Lord knows I'm not even allowed to speak anymore. But Impossible Foods' new CN label allows it to introduce its plant-based meat product to young people's nutritional requirements. So remember that old pyramid? And yes, how apropos it was inside of a pyramid. And they're going to introduce these meatless products into the nutritional requirements and help kids make better choices for themselves.
This is what I want on tape. Soleil not smiling.
So as you see, they are now going into the school systems with the food, right? So we're going to pause it there. So when I say that the attack on our children is multi-level when it comes to homosexuality, when it comes to changing and altering our DNA and to what new society they want to bring forward, that's exactly what it is. Let's go to Deuteronomy. Now we get to Deuteronomy. 6. Yeah, my brother Adam, you're going to have to kick in. The wifey then dipped off to sleep. Mhm. Deuteronomy 6. And it says, we're going to drop down to verses 6 and 9. Always 6 to 9. It says, and thou shalt write them upon the post of thy house and on thy gates, and it shall be when the Most High thy Creator shall have brought thee into the land which he swore unto by their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give them a great godly city. I'm sorry, verse 7. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children. What are those? The commandments. It says, and these words which I command this day shall be in thine heart, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children. That is what we have to do. No matter what they're receiving in school, no matter what they're receiving out in this world, we have to diligently unto our children teach them the commandments. And thou shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. So the Most High is telling us, as I stated earlier, if you walk through the neighborhood, you are seeing kids, you are supposed to be speaking this truth. You are supposed to be imparting your wisdom upon the children. That's what it's asking. It's saying right here that you should be diligent. You teach their children when you talk to them, when they sit in the house, when they walking around, when they lying down, and when they rise up. Give them the truth of the commandments. And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thine hand, and thou shalt be in the frontlets between thine eyes. That's when you see some of the Sephardic people, the Jews with the box in front of their head. They were doing this literally back in the days. They would actually stick the 10 Commandments in that box and tie it across their head. They would wrap their arms around in leather and have the 10 Commandments written on it. It was bound on their body. That's how real it was before we came into this wretched time that we're in right now. And thou shalt write them upon the posts of thy house and on thy gates the commandments. And it shall be when the Most High thy Creator shall have brought thee into the land which he swore unto thy fathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give thee great and goodly cities, which thou buildest not. He gave them a city that was already built up when they took over. Most High said you didn't have to build it. So when the Most High tells us in Jeremiah 30 in Jacob's trouble that we are going to build on top of this heap, that we are going to have a nation on top of this, that means that we're going to take it over. That's what they mean by the meek shall inherit the earth. That's 2 precepts to me explaining to you what this Deuteronomy 6 verse 10 means. When it says, which thou buildest not. I got a lot of these to get to. I'm sorry, guys. So let's go to Proverbs 22. Proverbs 22, verse 15. And it says, foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction shall drive it far from him. You want to know what to do with your child? It's called the rod. It's called discipline. It's called smack them up because they are doing the wrong thing. And if you don't, they're going to continue to do it because they're going to try and wear you down as a parent. They're going to continually ask you. They're going to wait to the times when they know you're tired, when you don't feel like answering them, and they're going to ask you for whatever gay thing that they're looking for. They're going to ask you to watch whatever particular thing they want. But here, chapter 22, verse 15 says, foolishness is bound in the heart of a child. Where is foolishness? In a child. And they want us to teach our children about LGBTQ, about changing their DNA, when foolishness is in the heart of a child. What is a child going to do with that? A child is foolishness. A child is going to do foolish things with that information. We would call that information a loaded gun. I mean, when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, you still had people that were still calling themselves virgin at 18, that was still saying they was a virgin at 20 years old. And at my age, 20 some odd years ago, it was still a thing for a woman to be a virgin and for a man to still be a virgin, where we actually respected that choice. Then what happened? Disney and them 3 Jonah boys, they came out with the purity rings. And they said that they were doing it because they wanted the kids to wait till they were married. But actually, they were bringing the conversation of sex into the children. They already know that a child has foolishness in their heart. All they got to do is present it. All you got to tell a child is, hey, look, there's cookies over there. Don't go and eat them. I got to go outside for a minute. What you think a child going to do? He going to get the cookies. That's why the Most High says, but the rod of correction shall drive it far from him. I mean, you can go against it. Let's go back to Isaiah, and we're going to go to Isaiah 54, verse 13. And it says, and all thy children shall be taught of the Most High, and great shall be the peace of thy children. So if we don't give our children the commandments, if we don't give them the rod, then they will never have peace. Our children will never have peace because they're going to be in that confusing world where everything is changing daily. New definitions, new understandings, new criteria, new ways of handling things. But I tell you one thing though, when a police officer pulls over a black male, I don't care how gay or female you want to be, that cop sees you as a threat, as a young black male, and will still kill you. He won't treat you like he would treat a female. He won't. It says, verse 13 of chapter 54, and all thy children shall be taught of the Most High, and great shall be the peace of thy children. But as we all know, our children is going to do what they want to do, huh? They're going to do what they want to do, no matter how much we give it to them, right? Well, let's go to Deuteronomy 21, verse 18, and see what the Most High say about that. Most High says, if a man have a stubborn or rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and that when they have chastened him, that means the rod, will not hearken unto them. Well now. Then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him and bring him out unto the elders of the city and unto the gate of his place. I'm going to tell you, listen now, this is the Most High telling you since Moses. This is what to do with an unruly child that will not follow the law that you put in the house after you beaten them, after you talked to them, after you pleaded with them, after you cried for them. Most High say, they ain't listening to you, you take them to the elders. And you take them unto the gate of his place. Excuse me. And they shall say unto the elders of this city, this is our son, is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard. What does glutton mean? A glutton means that they can't get enough. What do we say? My mom used to say, you're cruising for a bruise and you're a glutton for punishment. That means you can't get enough of sorrow. You can't get enough of pain. You can't get enough of crying. You a glutton for it. You want it. So the parents are bringing them to the elders saying, our child continually wants to get in trouble. He's a glutton for stupidity. And he's a drunkard. And all the men of his city shall stone him with stones. Oh. Now, when I brought y'all to the other verse, and the Most High says that, after that child is gone and I give you a new child because the other one wouldn't pay attention, you didn't think that it went this far, did you? See, this is why you are supposed to be fighting for your child, so that they are not stoned by you or this world. Because that's the other end of it if you don't fight for your child. If you don't bring him the scripture, if you don't bring her the rod. And all the men of the city shall stone him with stones, that he die. So shalt thou put evil away from among you, and all of Yasharallah shall hear and fear. The Most High said that sometimes there's only one way to get rid of evil and iniquity. That is to destroy it. Whether it be your child or anyone else's child. But understand that it is on that household. The Most High says that you're going to have to bring your child, and you got to tell everybody that your child won't listen to you. You're going to have to be a stand up and say that I walked in these statutes and commandments. I don't miss that part, parents. Don't miss the fact that the Father is going to put you up on the block as well. You're going to be exposed. There's nothing that's done in the dark that's not done in the light. So the times you enabled your child, that's going to be exposed. The time that you hopped in and took the rod for your child when you didn't allow the teacher, the husband, the wife, the cousin, the uncle, you didn't allow nobody to correct that child because you blocked it. Oh, you're going to have to answer for that. It says that you shall bring, the father and the mother shall lay hold of him and bring him out to the elders of the city. What do you think the elder's going to say? The elder's going to ask you, the parent, what have you done to get this child right? What have you done to be righteous before we let this child be stoned to death? What did you do as a parent? Oh, yeah, I guess you didn't realize you had to read that part in the middle of the lines. Well, it should be right there for you now. You should be able to look at that very clearly and see it's written there clear. Because the elders ain't going to just, because you bring your child up and say, my child don't want to listen. You think that child going to be quiet? You think that child not going to say what you done did to that child in the house? What you done agreed with to that child in the house? You don't think that child going to expose you to save his own ass? You better know he will. You better know she will. You better know she will. So you better get your house in order so that when that demon that's in your child, because your child don't respect you, you think that you're respecting your child by allowing your child to be this abomination. But let me tell you something. When mad day come, that child gonna point the finger at you and say, you did it. You, not them. And everybody's gonna say, because you the adult, they got to check that and ask you. They got to know what you did in your house. And now that child, that evil spirit in that child is free from the scrutiny, free from the judgment, free from its iniquity. And then put the light on you being half-ass righteous. And now explaining for the times that you enabled that you weren't righteous. Yeah, man, I pray y'all listening tonight, man. I pray you're hearing this, because this is what's going to happen in your households. All these things are going to come to pass. If you ain't got no children, you might want to count yourself lucky. But don't get it twisted. It's going to hit your door in some form or fashion. So let's get to it. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 4, because the Most High said, here, kill them and make them an example for everybody else if the children don't get their mind right. Like I said, many of y'all ain't ready for this life, man. And I don't like to talk that way. I hate putting out negative things to get people to say, oh no, I'm ready. I'm strong enough for the fight. No, I literally mean some of y'all ain't ready. I ain't trying to inspire you to do it. I'm saying some of you ain't gonna do it. Period. This ain't no reverse psychology that your Caucasians came with. It said verse 8. And what nation is there so great that has statutes and judgment so righteous as all this law? Tell me what nation is as righteous as the laws of the Most High. Why you shouldn't be teaching your child these laws. Tell me what other nation is so righteous that you can tell your child, you know what? You can follow them. They got it right. Them people there, they future with it. They see the future. They're doing it all right. Which one? There ain't one. That should give you the clue that all this is demonic. There ain't one nation that is fully righteous that you can look at and say, you know, they do right by the people that's in charge, are loving. You ain't got one. Name me one nation. Don't talk to me about a neighborhood. Don't talk to me about a gathering. I'm talking about a continental nation. So if you can't show your child a nation that treats all its inhabitants equally, you can't show your child a nation that gives rights to everybody equally, there's efficacy with rights across the board, that there's a nation that loves and believes in a creator. And even if they don't believe in a God, do they believe in treating other people right? Where have you found it? Where is this nation? There isn't one. There isn't one nation. So what law are you going to teach your child? It's the one that he set before us on this day in Deuteronomy. Let's go to Proverbs 20. I don't want nobody to think that we ain't got our scriptures to read. We ain't got our precepts in order when we call you an abomination, when we call you hell, when we call you what you are. We don't want anybody to think that we are talking from our head, that we are just freestyling and spitting. No. Proverbs 20, verse 11. Oh, they gave me Proverbs 1. Proverbs verse 20. It's a precept for the last two Deuteronomies I just read. We go on to verse 11. And it says, even a child is known by his doings, whether his works be pure or whether it be right. The hearing ear and the seeing eye, the Most High had made even both of them. So 11 is saying that the Most High sees everything a child does. Everybody knows what a child for what he does. You think they ain't thinking about the parent? They ain't thinking about where his homecoming came, his upbringing came from? Verse 10 says diverse weights and diverse measures. Both of them are like abominations to the Most High. You got diverse ways that you weigh. You got diverse ways in which you measure. You got diverse ways in which you treat each human being. It's an abomination. So even a child is known by its doings. Let's go to Exodus 20. I'm going to spin them heads with these scripts tonight. Exodus 20, verse 12. And it says, honor thy father and thy mother, that the days may be long upon the land which the Most High has given thee. This is a commandment that our children are supposed to be following. This is part of the Big Ten, right? You let Creflo Dollar and them tell you that you know that we're not supposed to deal with the laws. Hold up, let me see my man Ezekiel right quick. Hezekiah, let me see that song. Hezekiah is what song was it? Babylon. Yeah, Babylon is falling. My man did this thing right here. When he pulled this clip out, I was like, boy, you're the man for this, boy. I'm waiting for it to come in so I can get to this part. Excuse me while I scroll through, trying to get this one part of this video. Oh, there it is. There it is. Listen to this.
Let go while you cry.
We shouldn't have any relationship with the law, not even the Ten Commandments. We should not have any relationship with the law, which is over 600 of them. Because Jesus died to free me.
Do what I'm saying though. Get rid of this image. Get rid of it.
He says that we should not have any association with the law because Jesus died and boy, look here, look. So here, Creflo Dollar, T.D. Jakes, these Baptist preachers, it comes from Catholicism. It comes from the top of Catholic Church of Rome. It states that Jesus died for your sins. Therefore, you should not have any relationship with the law. You don't believe me? You think that Creflo Dollar just talking out the side of his neck? You think Creflo is talking out the side of his neck? Let's go here right quick. Let's go to Galatians. We're going to Galatians chapter 13. If you think the man lying, right? If you think Creflo is lying, Galatians. Why they gave me chapter 6? I put 13. G-A-L. Come on, 13. Galatians. Oh no. Oh, chapter 3. That's what it is. I'm sorry. Chapter 3, verse 13. All right. Excuse me. A little quick with my finger work right there. And it says, verse 13. Christ had redeemed us from the curse of the law. That's what Creflo is telling you. This is why we got a problem with the New Testament. It says Christ redeemed us from the curse of the law. We just read that the law is everything. The law is how our children know right from wrong. We just read that the law is our salvation. And here in Galatians, it says Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us. For it is written, cursed is everyone that hangeth on a tree. You know why they have that? Cursed is everyone that hangeth on a tree. Because Deuteronomy 28 said that we would suffer the curses if we did not follow the Most High. Yes. So in this Galatians, what they're twisting in this Galatians is that everyone that died on a tree hanging, which is also what happened with Yasha, he did not die on a cross, right? He did not die on a cross. He was hung from a tree. And it says that because he was hung from a tree, that everybody else that's hung from a tree, everyone else that hanging on the tree was cursed. So him being cursed and being hung by it, he redeemed us from that curse, that nobody else should get hung from a tree. Well, we know for a fact that we've been getting hung from a tree until this day. So what curse did he redeem us from? Because he didn't redeem us from that, because that's still happening. Let these people tell you that the law is done away with. And they're not telling you that they're following the demon. They want you to do as thy wilt. Want you to not believe in Exodus 20 and know these 10 commandments and know that this is what, because why? Because they kill at their own will. Why? Because they steal whenever they chose to. They stole this land from us. They lie on their neighbor, because this nation that believes in Jesus breaks every one of these commandments. That's why. Let's go to Proverbs 23. Verse 13. Withhold not correction from the child, for if thou beatest him with the rod, he shall not die. Whoa. Most High says, child ain't gonna die when you beat him with a rod, man. What is you holding up on? I made y'all strong. Thou shalt beat him with the rod and shalt deliver his soul from hell. So as you're beating your child, you're delivering your child from hell. Come on, man. Let's get to the prophecy of this, right? Let's get to Isaiah. Told y'all we're not playing with y'all tonight. All of you heathens, give me an answer to this. Give me an answer to this. I don't need to hear your whataboutism. I don't need to hear about your problems. I need you to refute this facts. I need you to show me your laws that are better than these laws. I need you to show me your laws that make you God. And it says, for behold, the Most High of armies, does take away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stay and the staff, the whole stay of bread and the whole stay of water. The mighty men, the men of war, the judge, the prophet, and the prudent, and the ancient, the captain of 50, and the honorable man, the counselors, the cunning artificers, artificers, and the eloquent orators. And I will give children to be their princes, and babies shall rule over them. It says, behold, the Most High of hosts does take away from Jerusalem, Judah, and the staff, the law. Judah has the law and the staff. It says, the whole stay of bread and the whole stay of water. The mighty men, the men of war, the judge, the prophets, the prudent, the ancients, all of them are being taken. And it says, and I will give you children to be their prince, and babies shall rule over you. We just read that a baby has nothing but mischief in his heart. It is bound by it, right? It is bound by mischief and foolishness. And the people shall be oppressed, every one by another. Doesn't that sound like what we are? Doesn't it sound like we're being run by children that don't know what the hell they're doing? They're only doing it for their own personal lust? Every one by another, every one by his neighbor. The child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient, against the adults, and the base against the honorable. When a man shall take hold of his brother, of the house of his father, saying, thou hast clothing, be thou our ruler, and let this ruin be under thy hand. So now it's saying that this man shall go to his brother's house and say, you be the ruler, this be under your end, being that they're gonna hide their hand. These will say the French did it. They say the Spanish did it. No, the English did it. No, the Dutch did it. No, the Germans did it. They are Confederate. They did it together. Don't give one no pass. Poland don't get no pass. Ashkenazi don't get no pass. Khazari don't get no pass. Sephardics don't get no pass. In that day shall he swear, saying, I will not be a healer, for in my house is neither bread nor clothing. Make me not a ruler of the people, for Jerusalem is ruined and Judah is fallen, because their tongue and their doings are against the Most High, to provoke the eyes of glory. Oh. They show of their countenance not witness against him. It says, the show of their countenance does witness against him, does witness against the Most High. And they declare their sin as Sodom. They hide it not. What was Sodom and Gomorrah? What land did the Most High destroy? Sodom and Gomorrah with what? Hail and brimstone, fire and brimstone. And what were they doing in Sodom and Gomorrah? Where do we get the word sodomite? The word Sodom comes from a man having sex with another man. Sodom and Gomorrah was two cities that did nothing but homosexuality. Period. So here it says, the show of their countenance does witness against them. It says the way that they act, the way that they look, like faggots, like wannabe women, wannabe men. That's what they look like. It says their countenance, their dress, their rainbow shows that they're against the Most High. And they declare their sin as Sodom. They hide it not. They create organizations and put it in the school system. Woe unto their soul, for they have rewarded evil unto themselves. That's what they have done. They have rewarded evil unto themselves. Now, they want to put this all in the curriculums in the schools, but do they explain what Sodom is? Do they explain what Sodom and Gomorrah came from? Do they explain any of that to the kids? No, they will not. Then it says, say ye to the righteous, that it shall be well with him, for they shall eat the fruit of their doings. What? For the righteous. Woe unto the wicked, it shall be ill with them, for the reward of his hands shall be given him. And as for my people, children are their oppressors. Ooh, as for my people, hear this, y'all. Children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths. This is Isaiah. What more we need? It's saying because we lost our righteousness, because we don't know how to act, that who is going to rule us in the end times? Children are ruling us. We are following what our children say. We are not wanting to offend our children by not telling them what they are doing wrong. We got children in our systems that are fighting and lobbyists for the LG community. All these young ones talking about we got to do this and this and that. It's the movement of the youth. And then we add that to the Mother Mary, the feminine goddesses, and all of our African goddesses. It says, then women rule over them. So it says that we got children and women ruling over us, my people, they which lead thee. It says, my people, the ones that lead you, these children and these women, they cause you to err, and they destroy the way of thy paths. Now we know the Most High is not chauvinistic. We know that we have judges that were women. We've had women that were prophets. We had this. It's only you that wants to be in this world, that wants to read this and think that there's some type of chauvinistic things coming when Europeans created the whole concept. Now, we're not in their world. We're in the Most High's world. Let's go to Genesis 1. I told y'all I had a lot for y'all to get tonight. Genesis 1, going down to verse 28, as my brother Yawan brought up earlier. It says, and the Most High blessed them. The Most High said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. Now, I brought this up before to let people know that they were, the Most High had created entities before us, that there were already humans on the earth, that we were just replenishing from the last time the ones went wrong. Here it says, it wants us to replenish. That means have children to replenish the earth. Homosexuality stops that. It prohibits that unless you're going to make test tube babies, which again is against the Most High. Designer CRISPR children is against the Most High. To be fruitful and multiply, replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish in the sea and over the fowl of the air and over every living thing that moves on the earth. That is our position. Anything other than that is less. Anything other than that is uncivilized. Anything other than that is not what the Most High has for us. Let's go to James. James chapter 1, verse 17. I'm going to tell y'all, man, I could have went another 3 hours with this. I'm going to tell y'all right now, this is just how I feel about it, man. Like, I had to cut myself off from the scripts, and I'm going to cut myself off tonight because I'm going long, right? So this is verse 17. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from the Most High, and cometh down from the Most High of lights, with whom is no variableness. No variableness. Neither shadow of turning. Proverbs, back of Proverbs. Proverbs 17. Verse 6. And it says, children's children are the crown of old men. It means our grandchildren is our crown. And the glory of children are their fathers. That's what we're fighting for with our children. This is the reward. This is the gift of giving the rod. This is the gift of giving discipline unto your children, that your grandchildren be your crown, and the Father is our glory. Let's go to Proverbs 22. Proverbs 22 verse 6 states, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Now, we all know that one. That's a popular one. That's why I wait to the end to give y'all that one. Y'all know this. But we act like it's falling on deaf ears. We act like we don't know this. We don't know if we train our child to be right. And no matter how far they go off, they're not going to come back. That's not true. We know from our own experiences. We hear the words and the wise counsel of our parents in our heads every day. Something happens, reminds us of our parents. That's what our job is to do right now. So that when our children get to be our age and they're playing back the things that we said, they're hearing scripture. They're hearing the 10 Commandments. They're understanding the righteous way of being. Let's go to Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5. And it says, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. Oh! So, the Most High knows you before you were born. Is he going to know you if you allow this science to inject something in you? Will the Father know you then? No. You're going to be something opposite of what he has created. It says, before thou comest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee. And I ordained thee, what? I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. That is our job. That is what our children are going to be. That's their job. We are in a family of prophets. That's what our job, that's our family business. This is family biz. Let's go to Joel chapter 2, verse 28. Now I ain't got but two more and I'm going to let y'all go. Joel chapter 2, and it is verse 28. Verse 28. And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Woo. Your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. This is the Most High talking about the end days and what's going to happen. In the end days, it says it shall come to pass afterwards that I will, after he's doing his thing, that he will pour his spirit upon all flesh, and our sons and our daughters will prophesy. Now, you know, this is one right here. I've been debating on how I feel about Peter, but being that it's the gospel, well, it's not the gospels, you know, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, right? It's that. So this is Peter, right, which was really Simeon. So we're going to call his first Simeon because that was his real name. They gave you Jesus, and Jesus went ahead and renamed Simeon to being Peter, right? But we're going to go with Simeon, 1 Simeon chapter 5. 1 Simeon chapter 5 says, likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Yea, all of you be subject one to another, and be clothed with humility. When I talk to my brother Yuan or I talk to my brother Eran, and I may at that moment be giving them some spiritual guidance, and they may say thank you, and I say no, because you're going to have to give this back to me, because we're all subject one to another. Just because I got it right today don't mean I'm going to have it right tomorrow. Heck, it don't even mean I'm going to have it right in an hour from now. Just because I got it right here on this thing right here, don't mean once I click off of this that I got it right. I'm trying just like you. I need counsel and wise counsel just like you. The Most High says, likewise, you younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Yea, all of you be subject one to another, and be clothed with humility. For the Most High resisteth the proud, and giveth grace unto the humble. Ooh. He give grace unto the humble. Baby, what you doing, baby? What you doing, baby? All right. Okay. It's 12:30 at night. My baby going to the car. I'm like, I don't want you to do that. You know us as protectors, man. I want, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, 1 Simeon, right? It says, be subject one to another, and be clothed in humility. For the Most High resisted the proud, and giveth grace to the humble. Alana, grace. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of the Most High, that he may exalt you in what? In due time. And I'm going to leave y'all off with this Psalms 128. I know I started a little late tonight. I think I started close to 10. So it was about 2.5 hours. But this was a serious subject. This was needs to be heard. We as parents need to know how to stand in this hour. Us as parents need to know what's being done in our schools behind our backs. Counselors are not talking to parents. Counselors are telling your children that it's okay for them to be gay, to express themselves as gay, and not talking to the parents at all. These are facts. This show tonight is for us as parents to know that our children are being under attack, which means our future is under attack. Our children are under attack, which means our future is under attack. And as we know, as parents, we're in a fight right now. So, Most High says, Baraka everyone. Baraka is everyone that feareth the Most High. Not the ones that fear man, not the ones trying to figure out man, not the one that's following this government, not the one that's listening to these CDCs and news channels, but the ones that fear the Most High, that is afraid of changing their DNA to be anything other than what their Father would recognize. It says, feareth the Most High that walketh in his ways, but that walk in his ways, and thou shalt eat the labor of thine hands, happy shalt thou be, and it shall be well with thee. Thy wife be as a fruitful vine by the sides of thine house. And so my wife is going to produce children for us. Thy children like olive plants round about thy table. Behold, that thus shall the man be Baraka that feareth the Most High. So the Most High just expressed that heaven on earth for a man is to have his wife and to have his children and to have a fruitful table and to eat what he has worked for. Not that someone steals it from him, not that someone takes taxes from it, that he sees and enjoys the fruits of his labor. And it says, behold, that thus shall the man be Baraka that feareth the Most High. The Most High shall bless thee out of Zion, and thou shalt see the good of Jerusalem all the days of thy life. Yea, thou shalt see thy children's children, and peace upon Yahshua. So that's our show for the night. That's our lesson for the night. That's our scripts for the night. That's our flag in the ground for the night. We want all the smoke. All the smoke. But what happens is that YouTube and the other social media things will block the video before it's being seen. They'll stop you guys from sharing it because they really can't handle the smoke. They can't. They got no answer for it. It's just business as usual. Don't let it be business as usual in your house anymore. Don't let your house be business as usual if iniquity is trampling through it. Don't do it. Yes, sir. Contrary to them out, it's what's supposed to be. Absolutely. Now, y'all understand, we read about the stubborn child. Deuteronomy, right? 21, verses 18 through 21. They brought the child out to be stoned. That means that you can do the best that you can with your child. The child has to make their own decision. As we read in Deuteronomy 4, that the child is seen. Everything he does, the Most High sees that. Your prayers, the Most High sees that. Let your prayers be how the Most High recognize you in this fight. Let your prayers stand for you in this three-way battle between your children, you, and the Most High. Because it is just that, a battle royale. So, with that said, all praises to the Most High. Do what you got to do. Stand firm. Pray mostly before you speak. Pray first, then speak. Think, then speak. Then act. How about that? In all of your actions. And then once you act, you will know that you've consorted the Most High. You've consorted righteousness. And that whatever you did, however it's taken, you don't have to question yourself. Was I right? Was I wrong? Did I say the right thing? Did I say the wrong thing? If you are measured and you understand that you're going to battle, that you can't just be shooting all willy-nilly. You got to be able to aim. That means that you have to know your scripts. You have to know what battle you're dealing with. And you have to bring those words to the battle. With that said, all praise to the Most High. Me shalom. We will see y'all back on the battlefield Wednesday night for cultural appropriation. Keep on fighting. All praise to the